Hello and welcome back to Mark's House and Garden UK. Behind me is my arid desert gravel bed, and I've had a bit of an arid gravel bed disaster this winter. Let me explain, and I'll show you what this is in a moment because I'm hoping that we might be able to rescue the situation. Let me put this down. I bought a couple of agaves and they were beautiful. And I put them in the ground. It's very, very well drained soil. About a foot underneath the earth is pure sand, so it does not retain moisture. And then we went into winter, and I think I did everything I was supposed to do. The agaves were planted proud of the ground so that they weren't sitting in a puddle of water. They were in very well drained soil, and I was told that agaves can cope with cold but not wet. So I made little shelters that went over the top of them to stop them getting wet. And I allowed ventilation through the side of those shelters so that they didn't get too damp either. But unfortunately, my agaves seem to have succumbed to some winter damage. And I don't want you to laugh when you see what I'm about to show you, because I'm about to show you the results. We're now in February, and I want to try and rescue the situation. Now, I'm aware that these agaves are probably already dead, but I'm going to try putting them into agave emergency rescue. This is a plant tray lined with insulation. There's a heated mat in the bottom, and I've got some plant lights. I'm going to plug it in, and I'm going to put it in the loft in my garage, and that, I'm hoping, will be an agave defibrillator. In other words, I'm hoping it will shock the plants into life if there's any life left in them whatsoever. So I'm going to dig them up. I'm going to try and retain some of the roots that are already on them. I will cut some of the leaves off, and you'll see why in a moment when you see the leaves. And then I'm going to plant them in here in some gravel. I'm going to leave them on that heated mat. I'm going to leave the mat on, and I'm going to leave them under those plant lights. And hopefully we might just get a result. Let's get on with it. Let's dig the plants up. Let's go and have a look at the damage. Now, please don't laugh, because I tried my best with these plants, and I did it by the book. I tried everything I could to get these agaves through the winter. There's one under this perspex sheet here, and there's one down there underneath another perspex shelter. Let me show you what I've been left with, and I'll put a picture of the before in as well so that you can see exactly what's happened. And here's one of them, and isn't it a shame? It's a wilted, soggy mess. Even the centre is soggy. I suspect there is no life whatsoever left in the centre of these plants. We'll see. Going to cut the leaves off. I'm going to dig them out, and I'm going to replant them. Now, actually, I've just discovered something. There's a baby one here growing off it, so we may even have some life in that baby one. I'll be showing you some close-up footage as I'm speaking. So that's a new discovery. I didn't know that was there, so we may not have lost everything in our agaves. Let's go and have a look at the other one. The other one's here underneath this perspex sheet. Let's reveal all and see what we've got. I can see it already, and I'll be dropping in some footage for you in a moment. It was covered. It didn't get wet. This gravel is dry. There's no wetness in here. You can hopefully see that this is a mound of gravel, and they were planted on that mound, so they were never sitting in a puddle of water. There was ventilation around them, but as you can see, once again, it's a mess. A soggy, damp, dead looking mess. There is a little bit of firmness in that centerpiece there, but I'm going to dig it up. I'm going to put it in my little insulated box. I'm going to see what happens. Now, once again, there is a pup. There is a pup emerging from the gravel here. Right, what I'm going to do with these is I'm going to be very, very careful. I'm going to protect those pups. All may not be lost, because if that dies, we may get something here. Right, let's get them dug up. So for me, this has already been a success, because despite the fact that the main plants look dead, we may have 2 pups. So we may have son or daughter of agave. I'm still going to dig them up. I'm still going to put them in this. I'll be very, very carefully moving the gravel away, and very, very carefully trying to extricate them from where they're planted without doing any damage to those pups. Because if nothing else, if I can rescue those pups, we'll have a success on our hands and they can go back in. What's encouraging about this is the plants were doing really, really well and they've produced pups. So I think I can have another go with agaves. Now, somebody told me that they'd be better off in raised beds, and I've thought about that. I'll come back to that in the near future when the spring comes and I get these planted back out. I may use a raised bed. I may have another go in my arid bed, but next winter I might do a proper cloche around it. Right, I'll get them out. You might see a little bit of footage of me getting them out, but I'll see you in a moment when I put them upstairs in my garage loft. Well, now this is getting more and more interesting with every passing moment. Look at this. There's no doubt in my mind that that central plant is dead, but underneath the ground there are more plants coming out like tendrils. Look at that. I think they'll grow. And here on the other one, not only do I have a pup, which is like one of those, but it's gone green, so it looks as if it's done some photosynthesizing, but I have another one here and another one there, and several more little sprouts. Happily, I just happen to have 3 ton bags of gravel. So these are going in here next to each other, surrounded in gravel, and those little tendrils I will allow to emerge from the surface, and then I'll switch it all on with some light, and hopefully those white shoots, which look like forced rhubarb, will turn green, put roots down and grow into plants. I am going to put some gravel in. I'll see you upstairs in the loft above my garage when we turn this contraption on. And so there they are, 2, inverted commas, rescued agaves. I'm pretty sure the big plants will die. Having said that, there was the tiniest little feather of a leaf coming up in the centre of each. Who knows? But we have several pups. The lights are on, you can see them lighting my hand. These are those plant lights. If you want to know about those plant lights, I've just done a video about them. I'll link to it in the description box below this video. You can buy them through my Amazon shop. I do get commission, I have to tell you that, and your support is greatly appreciated. The heated plant mat is also on underneath. Now that has the effect of warming the ambient temperature. It's not heated, it's about 4 or 5 degrees higher than the ambient room temperature, so that will give those roots some heat. It will also dry them out a little. The light will help those little pups to photosynthesize. Who knows? We might end up with a little farm of agaves to plant out. I do have some spares on the window ledge up here, which the guy that I bought those off gave me for free, so all is not lost. And you'll probably see here also that I have some other plants like these aloe veras in here as well. If you want to know what happens, obviously you'll have to subscribe and hit the notifications bell, and I will put a link somewhere just up here over my left shoulder when I have some results. Hope you've enjoyed that. I'll see you soon for some more agave rescue adventures. Bye for now.